Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're going to talk about something we've all been through, school grades. We're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden rules that are supposed to make them fair, clear, and actually helpful. All right, let's dive in.
So picture this. You get a paper back, you see the grade, and you're just left scratching your head. Confused, maybe a little frustrated. Yeah, that feeling, it's something pretty much all of us who've been to school know all too well.
And look, it's not just about that one grade. It's the pop quizzes you had no way to prepare for, the feedback that says do better but doesn't tell you how, or that nagging feeling that the system just isn't fair. These aren't just random, unlucky moments. They're actually symptoms of a way bigger question about how we measure learning in the first place.
But what if I told you that there's actually a professional rule book, like a set of ethical principles that educators can use to stop these exact problems from happening? It's a framework designed to flip assessment from being the scary final judgment into, a real tool for growth.
Okay, so before we dive deeper, let's get on the same page about what assessment even means to the experts. Basically, it's just the process of figuring out how well a student has grasped a certain subject or skill. And here's the thing, it's not just about final exams. It's really any method used to see what a student has learned.
Okay, and this is where it gets really serious because, as you can see here, assessment isn't just a number on a page. It affects our motivation, what classes we can take, and even our opportunities later in life. It's a huge deal.
Right, so because it's so powerful, there's this huge responsibility to get it right. And that's exactly where this ethical framework comes into play. Think of it like a guide to make sure the whole process is fair, totally transparent, and most importantly, that it's actually there to help the student.
So how does this all work in practice? Well, we can boil this whole big framework down to three really simple ideas. Three core pillars: making it fair, making it clear, and making it human.
All right, let's kick things off with that first pillar, making it fair. This one is all about creating a level playing field, making sure every single student gets a fair shot no matter where they come from. This is such a great example of what we're talking about. So take a look at the question on the left. It asks about a family holiday to Europe. Right away, that assumes a certain lifestyle, a certain income level that not everyone has. But now check out the one on the right. Describe a memorable experience from a school break. See? That's fair. It gives every student an equal chance to answer and show what they can do without any of that built-in bias.
So this really breaks down into two key parts of being fair. First, you've got equity. That means getting rid of bias so everyone starts on equal footing. And second, there's reliability. That just means the grading has to be consistent. Your grade shouldn't totally change just because a different teacher marks your paper. When you have both, that's when you build trust.
Okay, on to pillar number 2, making it clear. This is all about getting rid of the mystery. It's making sure every student knows the rules of the game before they even start.
Just look at this comparison here. It's night and day. The one on the left, write an essay about World War II. Where do we even start? It's a total guessing game. But the one on the right, it's perfectly transparent. It tells you exactly what to do. Analyze the economic causes, 5 pages, 3 sources. It empowers you because there are no secrets, no nasty surprises.
So this whole pillar is built on two big ideas. First is validity. This just means the test is actually measuring what it says it's measuring. A math test should test your math skills, not how fast you can read the instructions. And then there's transparency, which we just saw. It means you know exactly what you're aiming for and how you're going to be scored. It's a clear target for everyone. And that brings us to our third and maybe most important pillar, making it human. This is such a critical reminder that we're not just dealing with numbers and data points. Behind every test, behind every grade, there's a real person. And the goal should always be to support their growth, never, ever to do harm.
And these principles, they're really grounded in some basic ethics. Do good and do no harm. That means assessment should be about constructive feedback. It shouldn't be used as a weapon, as a punishment that can just crush a student's motivation. And it also means basic stuff like protecting a student's privacy, keeping their results confidential, and, of course, educators acting with professional integrity.
What this pillar really does is it shifts the entire point of assessment. It's not about ranking students against each other or, worse, humiliating them for a bad score. Instead, it's about using the whole process as a tool to help that student see where they are and, more importantly, how they can get better. It's about putting learning first.
So, okay, we've walked through these 3 pillars, making assessment fair, clear, and human. But let's step back. Why does any of this actually matter? What's the big takeaway here?
Well, it matters because when these principles are actually followed, they build an entire educational system on a foundation of trust. Students can finally trust that they're getting a fair shot, that the rules are clear, and that the whole point of this is to help them learn, not to catch them out. That's what makes it meaningful and what gives the whole system integrity.
And this all leads us with a really big question for the future. We're moving into an age where AI is starting to grade our work more and more. So the question is, how do we make sure these deeply human, ethical principles are baked into the code? How do we make sure our new tech still holds on to that timeless goal of making assessment just, meaningful, and genuinely supportive for every single student out there?